SoFi investors, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. Is there a short squeeze coming for SoFi stock? There are a lot of rumblings about a potential short squeeze. I'm going to give you my thoughts on a potential short squeeze, where it could push the stock price up to, and whether or not this is actually going to happen. And if you're a SoFi investor, you're going to want to stick around for this video. Let's go! All right, all my SoFi investors, do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It does really help us get into YouTube's algorithm. Real quick, before we get into this video, I'm also really excited about the NFL season starting. Check out the J All Day NFL show if you are a football fan. I'm also running my own survivor pool. I'll leave a link in the description down below. Now, back to SoFi stock. The stock is running up pretty good today, guys, up 3.5%. Right? There was a little bit of a buying opportunity earlier this past week, right? It dipped down. I did buy 200 more shares when it hit. I think it was in the $23 range really briefly, right? It like hit that for like a couple minutes and then it shot back up over $24. In this little baby account, I own 360 SoFi shares. I own about 4,200 in my bigger account and then a few hundred other shares in various IRAs. In today's video, I want to talk about short interest and whether or not there's a potential for a short squeeze to send SoFi to 30, 35, 40, maybe even $50 over the next 6, 12, 18 months, guys. If you've been investing in SoFi stock, there's been a huge amount of short interest over the various years. Take a look at your screen, guys. I'm going to show you the short percent of float chart since 2021. We started pretty low, man, in that 4% range, and then OMG, we shot up to 23%. And then pretty much from the middle of August 2022 until, September-ish of 2024, we hovered in that 14, 15, 16, 17, 18% short interest calculated against the float, the amount of shares, right? But recently, since about December, as we got into 2025, we kind of stuck in that 12 to 13% range, shot up a little bit, and then recently we've really come down to 9%. That is the lowest it's been since 2021, guys. So in all honesty, I don't think a short squeeze is going to happen, right? Short squeezes typically happen when a short interest is over 15%, usually in that 15 to 25% range. So all these YouTubers that are claiming a short squeeze is going to happen, I just don't see it, guys. If anything, the short squeeze already happened, and here's why. 23%. Down to 9% in 2 years, right? So that means over half of the people in short positions already closed out their short options. And even in the last year, we've seen a, huge 50% decrease from 19% down to 9%, right? So we peaked, around, 23%, right? So that's even more than 50% cut in half. But over the last year, that's kind of where I want to get the gauge for the potential short squeeze. We went from 19 to 20% down to under 10%, guys. So in my opinion, the short squeeze already happened, guys. It's not going to blow the stock up from $25 to $40, going from 9% short interest down to like 4.5% to 5%. Most stocks typically trade in that 4 to 7% range. Some of the big dogs are even less than that, right? So I just don't see it, right? Especially that $1.5 billion offering at $20 kind of gives us a floor at $20. So what is the incentive of short sellers to continue to short the stock? I just don't see it, right? And then Anthony Noto and his team have tons of incentives over $25, right? Coming up in the next year or so. So all these things that shorts kind of bet against are not in their favor right now, right? The short percentage, 9%. I'm expecting over the next month or two for it to be under 9% in that 8% range. And we continue to see institutional investors pile in, and the majority of them are not shorting the stock. That $1.5 billion offering, guys, the majority of that went to huge institutional investors, right? And those guys aren't in the business of shorting tons of the stock that they're getting at an offering price, right? So if we take a look at this valuation metrics, I mean, the market cap hovering around $30 billion. There are some positive things that could shoot the stock up, but I don't think it's going to make a short squeeze happen. So I think a lot of it's baked in, guys, like rate cuts, definitely baked in my opinion. Them getting back into crypto, that news has already been released. I think that's baked into the price. A lot of this recent run up that we've seen recently is in direct correlation to the short interest, right? If we take a look over the last 5 years, right? These charts are very, very similar, guys. So as short interest goes down over the last year and a half, what happens, right? Over the last year and a half, we see a huge meteoric rise in the stock price. Listen, the short squeeze, in my opinion, has already happened. And we're not going to see a short squeeze from 9% to 5%. That's going to shoot the stock up into the stratosphere, right? So if it's 9% of the current float and it trims another 4%, right? How is that going to shoot the stock up 25, 35, 40, 50%? It's just not going to happen. And if you've been in SoFi for as long as I've been covering it, you made a ton of money. And when that short interest was 20% and we loved the company, that was the time to buy, right? Because institutions start piling in, short interest comes down, and the stock price goes up. Peg ratio at 2. We kind of want to get that in the 1 range if we want to buy again. Sorry about all this hammering and pounding and sawing. They're putting an apartment complex up right next to mine, guys. Just bear with me a little bit. Forward PE in the 40s, still a little bit high, right? I think a buying opportunity is under 30. Back in September of 2024, it was at 32. That's a little bit more palatable for me to continue to buy shares. I think anything under $20 is a buying opportunity long term for SoFi stock. I'm selling close to the money puts, guys. 24.50s, $24, 23, 23.50s over the next coming weeks, guys, and collecting pretty decent premium. And I'm taking that premium and buying more shares. Price to book at 4, pretty high, guys. These were the buying times when it was under 2, under 1.5, right? And look, the float's huge, 1.18 billion shares. That's a lot of freaking shares. But institutional ownership is up over 50%, which is great, right? And as this approaches 60%, we're going to continue to see this short percentage go down. And according to Yahoo's most recent update, right, I think it says 8/15/2025. It was at 8.91%. So it's hovering between, high 8s, low 9s, and it's stabilizing there, guys. So in my opinion, a short squeeze is not coming. That doesn't mean the stock can't go to $30 by the end of the year. Maybe $35 if everything starts cooking with gas, right? But I don't think it's because it's going to be a short squeeze. I just think institutions are starting to pile in and really starting to identify SoFi and this business model as an absolute winner, guys. So if you want more SoFi updates, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Closing in on 4K. You guys are the best. Peace.